What strange events have gotten swept under the rug, like they didn't even happen? The Clinton administration funded nationwide fiber optic cable. The cable companies took the money, then disappeared it in all their late 90s corporate consolidations. Paid for fiber optic cable, did not get it. That's not even the half of it, we are still getting charged for it via extra charges on our bills. At least we were the last time I looked into this. A slightly frivolous example. After Madonna and Britney Spears kissed at some awards ceremony in the early zeros, Beyoncé made some comments at the time which could be construed as mildly homophobic, citing her religious beliefs. More or less any mention of this has been scrubbed off the internet now, and it's quite difficult to find details of it. Her PR team worked overtime on that one. In Williamstown, Philadelphia, over the course of 6 years there were 5 different men that barricaded their families into their houses. No relationship between these men, but all had the same reply when the police tried to save the rest of the family. It's not safe out there, they are out there, no one understands it's not safe. All 5 were eventually shot in a standoff, strange to happen once, but 5 times. Weird thing was no one seemed to think they could be related, just some whack job going nuts. Where I live, there used to be a prime minister who got his Rolex stolen. Later they caught the thief, he mysteriously died in jail, nothing happened afterwards. Just conspiracy now. The metric shit ton of COVID relief money that was given to companies that was misappropriated and will never be paid back, and is only marginally being analyzed, investigated, so it's all on the US taxpayers. It's the exact same in the UK, throw in the politicians specifically giving contracts to companies owned by their friends. The insult to injury is that they were actively breaking the rules they came up with during the pandemic, and to top it off they're getting a pay rise next month. On November 2nd, the FEC decided that foreign individuals, corporations, and governments can fund ballot measures in the US because they are not technically elections. This is a staggeringly big deal that was pretty much immediately swept under the rug. I mean, they let Zuckerberg drop absolute bank on funding ballot measures, operations, over $420 million, and ongoing investigations are looking into its influence, legality. Either open it up so we have shitty elections, or shut down outside funding, so we don't have billionaires trying to sway different electorates. Equifax lost the personal data of almost every single adult in the US. This is data we didn't give them permission to access. They simply automatically collect it. They are still in business. In September of 2017, Equifax announced a data breach that exposed the personal information of 147 million people. That's out of roughly 210 million adults at that time. That's 70% of the adult population whose data was lost. That's more than likely every single household in the US. Glad they gave me a discount on a service to protect me from identity thefts. Can't even make that bullshit up, literally give away all your information, then try and charge you for a service to protect your identity. What the fuck? They lost my SSN while I was a minor. I tried renting a car 5 years later as an adult, and I was told my credit was too low. Lo and behold, my identity was stolen in 2017 as a result of Equifax fuck up, and 40,000 was taken out of various banks under my name. I am going to be late as hell to this party, but hopefully here is a little nugget for those who search by new. Kevin Spacey was accused of sexual misconduct. Then he put out a video with very vague, but very threatening sounding statements while in character as Frank Underwood from House of Cards. And now all of his accusers are dead. Could not believe this was not posted or higher up. The wife of the Church of Scientology leader, David Miscavige, Shelley Miscavige, has not been seen in public since August 2007. She was reported as missing to the police at that time, but they said that she had been found and they closed the case. She has not been seen since. After 15 years of no contact or sightings, it's hard to believe she is alive. The Metcalf sniper attack, some unknown gunmen utilizing military tactics attacked a California power substation under cover of night. The attack included cutting targeted telecommunication lines beforehand. As far as I have ever been able to tell, they never figured out who did it or why. Or they did make arrests and the media didn't bother to follow up. $128 billion went missing in my country. It is talked about for about 3 months here. Added, it's Turkey. $500 billion, South Africa, borrowed from the IMF for COVID. It evaporated. It will never be seen again, but I bet the taxpayers are gonna have to pay it back. Karl Malone, decorated basketball player, raped a 13-year-old girl, disowned the child. Impregnated a 17-year-old girl, disowned the twins. Sexually and racially harassed Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife. Utah Jazz builds a statue celebrating and commemorating him. The Phoenix 2015 freeway shooter, the only suspect was clear and so far no updates. There were reports of copycats, or perhaps paranoia, for example small rock hitting window and people mistaking it for a gunshot, in other states that year, but those two came and went. In my hometown, the police chief was accused of having sexual relations with an underage girl. The father of the girl was one of the officers on the force. He was later found dead near the property of the chief. People believe he was there to confront the chief about the relations. 11 of September happened, and the attention of the public got focused on the nation's tragedy. He is now the mayor. Verizon and AT&T were given a shit-fuck ton of tax breaks and taxpayer money to build up fiber infrastructure for internet across America. They pocketed the money and didn't do shit. No one seems to give a flying fuck that these companies basically fraudulently stole billions in taxpayers' money. When I was in public school, there was a year-low NG fundraiser pushed to raise $75,000 for a new school running track. Was supposed to be really nice paved track. By the end of the school year they announced that they had met the funding goal and the track was going to be built. The next year we came back, and the school said that they were fundraising $40,000 for the new school track, which would be paved gravel. When I started asking where the other money went, they kept brushing me off like that never happened. I felt like I was taking crazy pills because all the other kids remembered that we had raised $75,000 for an amazing track, but now it was like the money vanished. None of the other kids really cared that much, but there was something really fishy going on. We got the track and it was shit. When I was in school we would do a running day from which a certain amount would be donated for every kilometer you ran. These funds were supposed to be used for building wells in a village in Africa. Every year it would be the same village. Either the money went into someone else's pocket or there is a village in Africa with 200 wells. Starting last summer there have been unidentified snipers taking out random cars on different parts of I-10 in New Orleans, and nothing has come of it and nobody's really talking about it. I mean, gang and drug violence, neighborhood drive-bys and the occasional bourbon shooting are one thing to ignore, but interstate snipers? Nobody finds that interesting. It's still happening. The mysterious circumstances surrounding the death of Casey Kasem, the original voice of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. T.I., rapper, and his wife have serially drugged and raped over 30 victims. According to 30-plus allegations, if you Google T.I., it does not even come up unless you specifically search for it. Have not heard about this, but it's not far-fetched. The same creep who brag about routinely getting his daughter's hymen checked to ensure she is still a virgin. That poor girl, if they proudly made that public. I don't want to even think about what secrets they keep private. The Chicago police running a clandestine black ops prison. People held with no access to legal counsel or trial. The story broke and nothing more came of it. The Martin Luther King's family getting a conspiracy trial in the 90s that found James Earl Ray not guilty of the killing, and the high likelihood of a conspiracy to kill King involving elements of the Memphis police, organized crime, federal law enforcement, and army intelligence. Tangentially related, most people don't know that Martin Luther King's mother was also assassinated in church while playing the organ. Washington NFL football team running a forced prostitution ring with their cheerleaders. The financial panic of 2008 was triggered by a $550 billion drawdown of money market accounts in the USA about 11 a.m. on Thursday, September 15, 2008. It was an electronic run on the banks. Had they not closed down the money market accounts immediately, the Treasury estimated that by 2 p.m. that afternoon, $5 trillion would have been withdrawn, and the entire economy of the United States would have collapsed, and within 24 hours the world economy would have collapsed. Who did the initial $550 billion draw down? This info was put in the memory hole, and the press does not discuss it. The anthrax attack straight after 11 of September, seemingly unconnected and no one was ever charged. From memory, largely forgotten. There was a guy that became the #1 suspect, but then he killed himself, so no one was charged and it was all hung on this guy. The attacks were scary enough, but the investigation and resulting suicide are just plain crazy. Look up Bruce Edwards Evans, such a sad story. The dictator Marcos Ill, gotten wealth from the Philippines. He used to be our Putin, but after years of fake news manipulation on uneducated masses, people seems to forget the scum's family still has open Swiss bank accounts and foreign parked assets, and now the son is running for president and has a decent chance of winning. Some really affluent guy had a private Zoom in a small country town, less than 100 people small, near me. Well, he died and all his animals escaped. The town gets nicknamed Monkey Town, and for years there are monkeys and huge cats wandering this one-store town. It's been over 50 years and people still talk about hearing strange noises in the trees and finding mutilated pets hung in trees. The local government never addressed it. and it's turned into some weird urban legend. Anyone remember the rumors of Kim Jong-un being ill? I recall him not being on TV for a week, and rumors in the West being that he had been removed from power by the North Korea army. South Korean intelligence then reported that Kim had a massive gout flare-up from eating too much cheese, stress eating. From what I have heard, Kim has gout, diabetes, and some other hereditary ailments. Who the hell destroyed the Epstein camera tapes? Thanks for watching. Write your opinion or stories in the comments. Support the channel with likes and subscription, it helps a lot.